So in this example, what we're gonna do is like we're gonna use the Snickers chocolate as our example as a subject. We're gonna put Snickers in this way and this way, and we're gonna understand how the focus works and how aperture, customize. I mean, how to customize aperture based on the focusing. All right, this is what we're gonna learn today. So here is the output from the camera. So as you can see, this is the output from the camera. So I've kept it to the minimum, just like 2.8 is the aperture ring. So I've kept it to the minimum of the aperture. And you can see that the snicker is like slowly focusing into the picture. I'm kind of shaking because it's very dedicated. So you can see the snickers here. Now, when you see the snickers, right, it's pretty clear about the snickers. This is the actual starting point of our focus. Okay, we are closer to the subject, so we are seeing it a little bit. Now, it is not required for us to be this close to the subject. We can go even outside. But the only thing if you go outside is like we need to zoom in appropriately. So let's zoom in until we see the snickers right there. Something is happening. You see some cloth over there. And then there's the snickers. It's going to the zoom. And then okay, right there. Now you can see that we are at 3.2 aperture, 60 shutter speed and 500 ISO. We will talk about aperture and ISO later, but then what I want you to concentrate right now is the snickers. Okay, on 3.2, 3.3, now you can see the picture is taken at 3.3. Now we can see that over here is like it's an aperture amount of 3.3. So so the aperture amount of 3.3 over here, which you can clearly see the line of the snickers. Okay, so this is called the line of focus. So whatever in the line will be focused, whatever is not in the line will not be focused. So for example, over here if you see the snickers over here were standing right here, so I was able to clearly focus on this line. But when you ask me what will happen to these areas apart from the line, it's all gone out of focus. Okay, so because your aperture is very straightforward here and it is on the max open, right, it will grab a lot of lights inside. Okay, which obviously means that the focus point will be very low. Okay, so if you want to thicken your focus point, now you want to thicken the focus point to a level where you cover a bit of more snickers over here, then you have to increase the aperture for it. Do you get it? So let's go to the settings. You cannot tune aperture in the live view mode, only in this camera, so you can do it elsewhere. But what we are seeing is like we are changing the aperture, we are just increasing it to 5.6. Okay, and then when you close the aperture, you can see that it's getting closed. The mirror, blade is getting closed. Then the light is reduced. Then obviously we need to increase the source of light, but I cannot go beyond the shutter speed of 40, so I cannot do this. 60 is good for me because I keep shaking my hands, right? So 60 is good for me. I'll tell you why it is good. Then we need to increase the ISO. ISO is basically like a software-based lighting system, so it extracts the light from the image. Okay, it's basically a software does that. Okay, the image processor does that. It has nothing else to work with. Right here. So now what we're going to do is like we're going to increase the ISO over here to another 1000 so that I get some good light inside, and we're going to turn it to the live view mode. Now once I'm in the live view mode, I'm just focusing on the snicker and I'll just take a picture right. So now the picture is taken. Now you just need to compare it with the previous picture which was taken. I can see that all this area is blurred, but then here you can see some improvements here. So you can see that a bit of this much is improved. It came out of the blurriness. Now what we do is like now we go back to the normal mode, and then we switch the ISO to another 2 stops higher. We make it 1600 for ISO, and then we'll make the 9. We'll go for 9, and then we can just check it out whether the light is good or not. Light is good. It's a little bit dark, so I'm just going to increase the ISO here to 2.5. It's dark enough. you could just compare it, now you can see that it's a little bit dark than the previous picture, but then it's because of the light, there's a scarcity of light because you're closing up your aperture ring, and it's going to let less light inside every time you increase your aperture. So, but the point here is like the blurriness on the sides. Here there is some blurriness, here there is some blurriness, but then in the middle you can see a real crispier picture of whatever you've been taking, which is not there so far, right? So you can see that it's increasing, right? It's a pretty good sign. So let's go back to the non-live view mode and increase the aperture to another 2-stop or 3-stop or 30, and then increase the ISO again to somewhere 5000. So go to live view mode again, and then focus on the subshare, and then click the picture now, and see how it goes. I can see the blurriness is completely gone. Let's see what happens in the maximum of maximum. So let's go to 20 or 22. Oh no, there won't be any light left. Let me go to high ISO. High ISO is the maximum ISO available, and even higher than that is like more of it. You can see the grains on the picture. Do you see the grains in the picture? This is one of the disadvantage of using it, because as I said, it's a software based, right? And you can check it out that the picture is clear and everything here is unblurred. There is no blurriness in the picture because of the aperture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one more example of the aperture. So I'm just going to reduce the ISO to a minimal 500, and I'm gonna decrease the aperture pretty much lower to 3.5, and I'm going to turn this snippers, and I'm going to take a picture. Now I want you to see the difference between that and this. Now if you see, the line changes, right? So the line changes and it becomes like this. Okay, so now what is the difference between both the pictures is that when your image or even your subject is on a line, that's why we ask them to stand on the line to take a group picture, because if people fall up and down, they stand it like this, and you want to take a picture of them. It's not possible in the nighttime, because nighttime you want to keep the aperture lower, and you want to keep the ISO higher, but not too higher that you saw the grainy picture. You saw how much grains there were. You saw the grains, it started to come from here onwards. If you zoom into the picture, you can see identify the grains in the picture. But when you go for higher ISOs, right, you will get more grains in the picture. Now you can see that it's spoiled from here itself. Yeah, the picture is spoiled and you cannot zoom in. So here you can see how clean the picture is. But then when you go back to the previous picture where the ISOs are too high, when you zoom in, you can see this picture getting spoiled very soon. Right? That's because of the software optimization. Now you're going to try the same thing by yourself. There you go. So I want you to tell me the results for it. How it goes.